What up, though? Welcome to the FreeGame Producer Podcast. My name is Brian Onrea. I'm sitting here in the Bandwidth Studios in Atlanta, Georgia, in the luxurious A-Room. And across from me, I got the super producer, the multi-platinum producer, the 5-time Billboard #1 producer, Will Power in the building.
What it do? What it do?
Some James Brown. Yo, man, how you doing today, man?
I'm good. I'm in this bitch.
That's what's up, man. It's good to be here, man. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of good feedback from that last episode with KP.
Man, it was crazy, bro. I mean, you know, man, when people that have like experience and like have really done some important things in the industry come on the show, I always expect it to do well. I mean, you know, man, the last couple been some home runs, man. You know, Don Cannon, Ray Daniels, Key Henderson.
Oh man, yeah.
You know, it's going crazy, bro.
Be
Rich,
crazy,
bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy, bro. So.
And today ain't gonna be no different.
No different, man. Yeah, we got Keyz, man. From AO and Keyz.
We up in this bitch
yeah. I'm excited.
We had Keyz episode 28 actually.
Oh man, that's right. He was down with. That's right. He came on the show like when we first started.
Yep,
man.
5.5 years ago. So it's cool to see the growth, and it's a good interview. I played it again last night, and it's a dope interview. So
it's crazy,
it's gonna be crazy.
Because like, bro done some things. We'll get into that part, I guess, in a minute. But
for sure, man. For sure. But one thing about him though, in that first interview, he talked about taking the leap. He took the leap from Buffalo to go to school down here in Atlanta, and we were talking about people who like just quit everything and just jump into music.
Yeah, you know, man. I mean, it's a scary journey, man. I mean, but I think that just like anything else in life, man, you have to just sort of decide that that's what you want to do, and you know, take the necessary steps to get to that point. I've been kind of discussing it with some good friends, man, about what it means to, just decide this is it. You know, when you get to a point where you can make something where you don't have a B plan, you'll be surprised at what you could find on the other side of that struggle. You know what I mean? But this shit ain't for everybody, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning that part. I've learned that over the years. But I do know that, like, I have several friends, man, that I see it in them. And I think that, I'm careful about who I tell to do that type of shit because, you could set somebody up for a failure if they're not ready for it. Or, if it's if you really see potential and you really know that a person has what it takes, then you also could say the right thing that could change their life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But man, as a producer, bro, it's kind of, you got to just kind of lay out what it is you want to do. Like, even 5 years ago, it's crazy that we're talking about, an episode we had 5 years ago. But even 5 years ago, bro, it was way less ways to make money as a producer than there are now. And it seems like every day something new is becoming, a valid way to make money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I just want to encourage all the producers, man, to like not be afraid to research all of those avenues.
Absolutely.
And, try to follow the leaders in those areas and see what they're doing and, create ways to pivot, to get off into those sections of what it is you're interested in, because production is not always about making the hottest album and making the hottest artist album as a producer. Sometimes, man, it's about understanding the components of business and then just operating as one. So,
there's a lot of different ways to make money as a producer other than getting placements.
Yeah, well, but let's just take the placement aspect of it and talk about that for a few seconds.
Okay.
Like, placements don't necessarily mean major. Sometimes a placement, man, is look, my homeboy down the street, man, paid me $300 to do his record. Yeah. That's a placement. It might not be a major placement, but it's still a placement. And it's also a form of business that you could like start to build on. Bro, we opened our studio, man, 5 years ago. And I just learned last week that I have a demographic that I should be trying to promote my studio to. I've been open all this time, and, we are absolutely open to anybody who wants to be creative and is serious about being creative. So you're welcome here. But I probably won't be marketing to them folks no more. Like, I'm just my level of interest has now been heightened to find a certain type of, client, someone who's interested in doing full projects, someone that's interested in,
Yeah.
Because I run a luxury business, it's sort of like making a luxury car.
I get it.
All right, so everybody needs a car. We cool.
Yeah.
We get it. Everybody needs a car, and so people will be buying cars from, a $5,000 hoop that they found in the yard to whatever they can afford.
Yeah.
But only a certain amount of people, a certain type of person is going to even be interested in a luxury car.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just learning to define the way that I do that. And I say all that to say this. As a producer, you have to decide what type of producer you want to be. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to use the term luxury because that would be trash to say, but you have certain levels and spaces that you can go and definitely flourish in. So you got the big placement guy, which maybe in some terms of seeing this would be like the luxury chaser. Mm-hmm. So they are the ones that's trying to get the Mariah Carey and the, the Cardi B, the Beyonce. Yeah. They're trying to get those placements and may or may not have positioned themselves over the years to be able to get in rooms and have those conversations. Mm-hmm. But then you also have the guy who is just really dope at making loops, and his job is to furnish any producer who's in need of loops.
Yeah. But
that's a viable business. There are loop makers that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars because they've figured out what their business model is, which is I'm going to furnish people who might be able to take this into a luxury setting. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or you could just be like I make my beats and put them up online guy.
Yeah, the Airbit beat stars.
Airbit beat star type of guy. You know what I'm saying? And those are like really valuable businesses to be in. You could also be the producer who is about putting out, you're the producer artist who is working to put your body of work in front of fans, which there are plenty of people who do that. You know what I mean? Huge producers who make instrumental albums and spend lots of time marketing and being in parts. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Collab albums, working with artists like excuse me, what's my man that did that does the Freddie Gibbs, man? Freddie Gibbs albums, like he does.
Oh, Madlib?
Madlib, man. Like shout out to Madlib, man. I apologize, I didn't remember the name, but Madlib, like he's the type of producer to me, man, that understands two things. Like one, he's a hell of a dope artist as a producer. Two, he can make or break an artist. Yeah. So that's his business model. On top of many, many other things that we know he does.
Static Selector's one of my other favorites.
Static Selector, yeah, absolutely, man. So without going too crazy over it, man, that's the kind of shit I'm talking about, man. And so,
and my free game, real quick, is in 2022. It's not even about having a job. In 2022, you can control your job. Like they got the door dashes, they got things you can do. You can have flexibility because a lot of people will stay on their job if they can just take off whenever they want.
That's right.
But in 2022, you got options out there.
You got options, and man, this is what I do know about most producers. We're tech savvy.
Yeah.
In some form or fashion, we're tech savvy. So most of us are also good at. And when I say that, I just mean that could be anything. So if you're also good at something, man, let that be the
Tomorrow app, Fiverr, bro, all types of apps.
Find ways to get your hustle. Yeah. That's the
Instagram now.
Run that shit, bro. So
yeah, man, that's a free game, man.
Yeah, man.
Dope interview with Keyz, man. Check it out, man. Free Game Podcast. Let's go. All right. Welcome back to the Free Game Producer Podcast. We got a very, very special guest in the building. We had this gentleman on the show 5.5 years ago on episode number 28. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Straight out of Buffalo, New York. You know what I'm saying? He has a Grammy now. Grammy Award-winning producer on the podcast with us right now. Credits include Chris Brown, Omarion, Beyonce, Wale, Cardi B, Bryson Tiller, Yo Gotti, Jeezy, Ty Dolla $ign, Jeremiah, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know
yes, sir.
We got multi-platinum producer Keyz in the building. How you doing, sir?
Come on. Listen, that intro is fire, dog.
Fire. Listen, we interview a lot of people, and I remember back then, we interviewed you, and me and Will was like, man, that's a real humble dude. Because you had a lot of credits back then as well.
Yeah.
I think the Beyonce record was real big back then.
Yeah,
he was
man.
like, you were so humble and so cool then.
That's love,
and we talked about that after
Sure
we wrapped
did.
up.
Right. Yep.
So as you progress, we were rooting for you all these years, man. And like,
man.
it's dope to see you back around with the Grammy now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah, man. God's been good, man. I'm so grateful. You know what
Super
I mean?
dope, man. You know, just to jump right into something that went down kind of recently, man. I know you were doing some stuff with the Babyface camp.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like jumped into that, dude, and like that alone, you know, I know what that means to the culture. You know, to be working with one of the greatest songwriters, producers in ever. What was that like, man?
Man, that was an experience in itself, man. And you know, when I met OG, it was just like it was a moment for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
It happened so fast. Like I was on the phone with him, and then 10 minutes later he pulling up, and it's like, yo, like, you know what I mean? So it was a whole crazy, you know, experience. But like the first thing that I did, man, was I called my homeboys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of my writer homeboys, some of my best friends, like, yo, I'm with Face.
That's right.
And so at that moment, I said, like, yo, I want to share this. You know what I mean? I want to share this with my people and the creatives. Dope. And so I told OG, I was like, yo, you gotta come back to Atlanta.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think he had been you know, back in Atlanta for a minute. I'm like, you just gotta tap into the culture. You know what I mean? Like,
considering he helped create it.
Yeah, he helped build this whole thing.
Right.
In LA, shout out to OG LA Reid.
That's right.
You know, so he was like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then it really started off with like him working with me and a couple of my, like I said, my writer homies and you know, a couple producer homies, and then it just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Like as we
it was dope, man. Like I what I really enjoyed about it was the care. I could tell that you put a lot of care into making sure that it was a comfortable situation for him.
Absolutely.
You know, like the way y'all rolled it out, the kind of like the content that came with it, it was just really dope. But it was so dope that like all of us was on your line. You know, your phone you probably had to cut your phone off that week.
People still mad at me about that, man.
Nah,
like,
man. Yes. Anybody that knows the business knows you can't be mad about stuff like that. It's only so many people could come to something like that.
I've seen guys, they done walk past me. I'm like, I had to come up like, listen, bro, it wasn't me. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to answer to people. Like, it started off with being me, but then I had to start answering to some people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's amazing, man.
It's like, it's love, man. I still plug you in. Like, you know what I mean? It's nothing. It's just for that situation, it was a little difficult. But, yeah, man, we did it. And, like, I didn't produce not one record.
Yeah,
I just put the rooms together.
But, Doc, that's important, man, to be able to cultivate and create, you know, culture for a situation. That's it, dog. It's Absolutely. A vibe, man. And you said the vibe, so like it's whatever.
Yeah, no, the vibe was incredible, man.
That's dope.
Yeah.
But this is a producer podcast, so I want to know, what did you learn, like working with Baby, just being around him? What did you learn?
I learned
as a producer,
just the details in the songs. You know what I mean? I learned that if it don't work, it wasn't a hit. You know, like. Just that plain and simple.
Simple.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't force it.
Don't force it. Like, I learned just so much. I just watching him work and seeing like the input. Because you know, I mean, you know, it's some guys, you know, especially they're not as great as what Babyface is, but you know, they're not able to articulate or communicate with the younger generation.
Yeah.
And for them to understand, you know, in our language, what we need to do, and he's an amazing communicator when it comes to music, and I just learned like patience with songs. You know what I mean?
I always wondered that, man, because he has between him and Diane Warren, bro. Like, I don't think I've ever experienced. I mean, I've heard millions of songs just like anybody else, but those two, man, to hear you say that he's a great communicator. Kind of solidifies it for me because he's never had a song that didn't feel like a conversation. And that's amazing, man. Yeah. But you know, congrats to you on that though, bro. Because like
that was big. That was a moment.
That's a moment, man. That's one of those things that, like, you know, you'll always be minted as a person who brought him back into the fold with the younger producers and writers, and that's important because. We, you know, as a culture, we forget. Right. Man. We be forgetting who the OGs are. Like, and like he did so much pretty much none of us would be sitting here right now, at least in Atlanta,
right?
If it wasn't for the works that him and L.A. Reid did, man. It's just like that shit was crazy.
Absolutely.
But anyway, yeah.
Doesn't that need to happen more often though? Don't we need to kind of bridge the gap a little bit more? Because we have so many legends that are kind of like over here in their corner, and new folks coming up. But it's like we got to bridge the gap because at some point the new folks gonna be over there. So to keep it all.
Yeah, keep it circulating. Yeah,
it has to happen, man. And I think even I see a lot of, we kind of in this space where like a lot of young guys not really giving the OGs their respect. You know what I mean? I just think because it's that gap. You know what I mean? We just got to put it together.
You know some of that I know about because the younger people don't relate to the older. But I don't blame just the younger people.
Right.
Sometimes I blame the OGs too because I'm like, there was a time when you were supposed to be teaching a younger person what's up, and you didn't. You just went on with whatever you were succeeding at, but you have to stop and say, hey, it's some young kid behind me, man, watching me. I got to acknowledge this kid and help him understand what it is that could get him to the next space, and that just in turn turns into like now you got a little homie who's gonna make sure you still good when you done cooled off a little bit. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely,
that's dope though, man. Again, congrats on that. That's
fine. I appreciate it, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what was winning a Grammy like, and how is like? Did you see an immediate change as far as like your resume and your phone calls and your opportunities after the Grammy?
Yeah, I think the Grammy is everybody wants that, you know what I mean? You want that accolade. So it was more of like a self goal, you know what I'm saying? I think our music, there's so many guys who haven't been able to get that opportunity yet who are so talented. So it don't really what I'm trying to say, it don't really dictate your talent, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Or the cause, like, cause I feel like the cause is kind of the same, but it's just something to put up on the wall. That's dope.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
Yeah,
man. I mean, I'm a fan of accolades. I like to see people get it, man, and especially when people have worked really hard to be in position.
Right.
But I do agree with you. I think it's just one of those things that, like, you just mark it off. It's on the list of things. Like, hey, man, I've got these, 50 things that I want to do in my music career, man. Right. This was one of them.
Absolutely.
And to see you get that is also pretty amazing because. Like you said, bro, like you've been working a long time, man. So like you in the respectable rooms regardless.
Absolutely.
So it's like you earn that by just being dope.
Just being dope, man.
And that shit's gotten you a long way.
For sure. I wish it came like a bonus, $200 million bonus.
It don't.
Right. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
Dope. It's all good though. Maybe one day.
One day, right?
You know what
That's
I mean?
crazy. Now, again, on the first episode, we kind of went into your backstory a little bit, but I don't think we talked about your college experience. You came down to Atlanta to go to school. I found it out a couple of days ago.
Oh, dope.
So I saw a video when you were talking about Atlanta Art Institute.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How do you think that education helped you in your career?
Man, so just a quick story. Like, I told my mom I wanted to do music, and I grew up in church, of course, and playing, so they knew what music was. But when I told her I wanted to do, secular music, it was like,
oh yeah,
wait, hold on, wait a minute.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So she was like, listen, as long as you go to school, I'm cool. Do what you want to do. Her and my pops. So I was trying to go to LA. And they was like, nah, it's too much. You're going to get swallowed up out there. Like, and it's too far from home. from Buffalo to LA is like a 5-6 hour flight or whatever.
So they knew what was up.
Yeah, they knew what was up. You know what I mean? So here I am. I'm a kid in Buffalo. I know what Atlanta is, but I really don't know what Atlanta is.
Had you been to Atlanta?
I had never been to Atlanta. You know what I mean?
It's a really black city.
Yeah, and I really didn't realize it until I came out here. So one of my homeboys, he moved down here, and I just saw him. He was like with the New Boys, You're a Jerk.
Jerk,
he out there. He had Linux with them. He had Linux with Sammy. And, where I'm from, we don't see that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, bro, what you got going on? Like, he's like, bro, Atlanta lit. Like, you need to come down here. Yeah. So I started looking at schools, and I found the Atlanta Institute of Music out in Gwinnett.
AIM. Come on.
So it was only a diploma school. Yeah. But I told my mom and dad, like, yeah, I'm gonna get a degree. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know it was a diploma school, and it was only for 1 year. Yeah. But I just was like, yo, I'm gonna go out there. I'm just trying to make it work. You know what I mean? So I found an apartment like 2 minutes driving from the school, like a 20-minute walk.
Yeah.
Because I ain't had no whip. So I found a apartment. My parents, we packed up my TV and some of my clothes. Came down here, and we hit a Salvation Army around the corner from the spot. It's still there. And my mom bought me my mom and my dad, they bought me a little bed, couch, coffee table.
Come on, man.
And, you know, I just started going to school. So I finished up AIM, and then I went to, because I promised my mom and I promised my parents I was going to get the degree. My dad wasn't really tripping, you know what I mean?
Right.
But my mom was heavy on me like that. So
Right,
I was
right.
like, all right, cool, I'm going to get the degree. Like, you know, I told you I'm going to get it. So I transferred to the Art Institute of Atlanta and then got my bachelor's degree. You know, it took me like 3 or 4 years or whatever. But I'll say as far as school, for me, it kept me disciplined. You know what I mean? Like, it kept me, like, just not out here moving and shaking and getting lost in the sauce. And especially, like, knowing what Atlanta is now. I didn't know then, but it's so easy to get swallowed up out here. You know what I mean? And being you know, the lit parties and the girls and whatever, you know what I'm saying? So it helped me stay disciplined, and then it helped me understand sound. You know what I mean? I didn't really understand sound until I went to school.
Come on,
You know what I mean? Like, I went to, you know, all type of classes and really understood audio, and that helped me in my production. You know what I'm saying? I also took this is a teacher named Booker up there that he really just helped me as far as logic was concerned, because I was using Reason and I just went over to Logic, and he was just breaking down all type of little tricks and stuff I still use to this day.
That's
you know
fire.
what I mean? And so that really, you know, long story, my bad. But,
No, that's
you know,
just dope.
Yeah.
I want to know how you got plugged though, because I also heard while you were in school, you was making your way to like the studios, like Mean Street Music, and you was making. So how did you even get that connection?
Man, I tell people, like, networking is such a, you know, cliche thing to say, but that's literally how everything happened. I would meet one person, and then that person would introduce me to another person. That person would introduce me to another person. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I was still like playing keys, like in bands and stuff.
Ah, okay.
And so it was this guy I met. He was a drummer. He was trying to put a band together for Rick Ross. So we was rehearsing. One of his homeboys ended up being Benny Blanco. He's doing country music.
Oh man,
Yeah, that's my big
I just
bro.
talked to him about an hour ago, bro.
Oh, where?
Yeah,
That's
Blanco,
crazy.
Brown,
Friend
yeah.
of the show. He had a couple
Blanco,
times on the
man.
show.
Yeah. So my boy Brian introduced me to I'm sorry, let me go back, my boy, because I don't know who watching this, so I want to make sure I shout out. My boy Emmanuel, I met at school. He was a bass player. He was in a bass program. He introduced me to my boy Brian, who was a drummer. Brian introduced me to Benny, who was working on Sierra and all that type of stuff back then. Then Benny introduced me to Jasper.
That's
You know what I'm
it.
saying?
That's all you
Yeah.
needed.
Jasper introduced me to Lloyd. Like, it just was just going.
play after play.
You know what I mean?
Your gift was making room for you. basically.
Absolutely, man.
Okay.
I can't take credit for it at all. It just fell in my lap. You know what I mean? So I'm so grateful to God for it. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, but what's crazy is, man, the names that you are speaking on right now, all of these guys have always been them people.
Absolutely,
Like Jasper, man, like he's always been the conduit to get you in the business, bro.
Absolutely.
Because he just knows so many people and has
Absolutely.
worked on so much stuff. Blanco, man, if you know Blanco's like personality, bro, he fills up a room by just being there.
Just being there.
And you know, but his skill set and his abilities are like
Out of the world.
ridiculous. So
he's just walking talent and a walking gift. And when I met Jasper introduced me to Sick Pen. I don't know if y'all know.
man, yes, I know Sick Pen, another fire ass
what I mean?
dude.
We started working. I remember he sent me a demo back, like, yo, this kid named Sick Pen, woo woo. So me and Sick Pen just got tight, and we ended up finding out we was family
Nice.
during working with each other. And then Sick Pen introduced me to Polo. You know what I'm saying? And Polo really just helped me, because I was still growing. I was still figuring it out. And Polo just really just...
Bro, we
You know
just
what I
had we just had Kawan Pratha on the show last episode, KP. And KP was talking about Atlanta and how Atlanta works and like how that's just what the A is. It's like, hey, pull up, man, this shit is popping over here.
Yeah.
And all you gotta do is go sometimes, bro.
Absolutely.
And if it's on you, it's on you, bro.
on
Like
you.
it is what it is.
is
Like
what
you
it
could
is.
go in a room and before you know it, you producing on something that's going crazy.
Absolutely.
And I
Absolutely.
think so. That speaks a lot to you, though, man. Like, you know, a lot of people aren't brave enough or driven enough, man, to move on them type of situations. You know what I'm saying? Because we producers, we all know like we're semi
in the back,
introvert, chill.
Right.
We good on that.
Right.
But I've seen a lot of homies, man, miss opportunities with that. You know what I'm saying? It's
Absolutely.
like you can't be afraid to go. Just go.
Just go.
And whatever you came to offer that up.
Offer that up.
And then just get on through.
Absolutely. And I remember my boy Dave hit me. He was managing Verse Simmons at the time. And Verse, I think, just maybe dropped Boo Thang.
Yeah.
He, like maybe a year or two prior. So, of course, I'm looking at Verse like, oh, my God. Like, you know what I mean? I look up to him, and I came in, and I had a session. He put a session together. It's me, Verse, Boo, Akon walked in. I'm just like,
what is going on?
And so I was going through some beats, and Verse was like, yo, let's do something for scratch. And so I'm like, I ain't never did this before. Like, I ain't never, you know what I'm saying? So I'm working it out, and the beat was trash. You know what I mean? Verse still did something. That's my bro for life.
Yeah.
Like, he still did something. But Boo and them was looking like, okay, you know. And I was like, dang, man. Like, but I got through it. And then when I started working with Sick Pen, he taught me how to, like, really work on the spot. Like,
that's dope.
We wouldn't do nothing he made me work and make tracks on the spot. Like, 100 people in the room, like, nah, bro, tap in. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Get through it.
Yeah. Shout out to Sick.
What's some of the keys to that for the people at home? Like, you don't got to give away all the songs, but what's some of the things? Because I know on the spot, you got anxiety, you got people looking at you, bro. Like, but you got to deliver though. This could be your only shot. So, what are some of the things that you can kind of like help the listeners to get through if they're in a situation like that?
Man, that's you gotta just man, that's a hard one. I don't even know.
Got him.
Yeah, it's like practice.
Yeah,
so it's like,
yeah.
You know, I tell people all the time, like Steph Curry, he can shoot from half court because he do it
all the time.
That's right.
So it's like we make beats at the house anyway. It's just tapping into that and kind of envisioning yourself in a room full of people. You know what I mean? And then having a pack of loops already ready to go. Like back then, we wasn't really doing loops like that, but now, you know, have those loops ready to go. Have your whole little situation. If you on the spot,
being prepared.
Be prepared so you know how to get through it.
Stay ready. You don't got to get ready.
No,
yeah. Well, so man, like you know, in your career, man, you've done some great things, man, and a lot of things have been like sort of in a collaborative, you know, setting. That's becoming even bigger now.
Even bigger.
Like it's like almost like you hardly ever even see producers just working by themselves anymore.
No, it's not happening.
Yeah, and so how do you continue to cultivate that? Because sometimes it's out of hand.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because
sure.
I've seen these horror stories where like a loop would come in and the loop is incredible, so you get to making a song out of this loop, but then you find out like the loop was produced by like 6 people over in like Europe somewhere, and it's crazy because like, you know, do you have like any insight on like how to navigate in those situations? Or
you can't just work on anybody's loop. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You have to have a relationship with the loop makers.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because I got guys send me loops like all day long, and I'll be like, I don't know you, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? But a lot of guys that I do work with now, because honestly, that's really what I've been doing. Like, is pulling up loops. You know what I mean? Which is crazy for me because I was a melody guy first.
Come on.
And now, like, I think my drum game is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
So, a lot of the guys that hit me, we'll talk on DM first. They'll tell me this in the pack through, and then we start building, and they'll tell me like exactly who's on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's on the beat.
Yeah.
You understand it. You know what I mean? So we keep the business.
I'm in the same boat. I be asking, like, I'm like, bro, okay, so look, break this down for me. Like, it ain't
For
somebody
sure.
in the closet playing the bass on this, is it? Like, what's going on?
Sure.
So yeah, in the first interview we talked about I believe you had a publishing company you were starting. You were getting into the publishing game. You wanted to grow that. Is publishing still something you're involved in, and how does that look for you in the future?
Man, you know, it was something that I'll say I'm focused on myself at this moment in time. Kind of like my ecosystem. Like, I got 3 or 4 guys, maybe 6 guys around me right now. That's what I'm focused on. I saw, like, even with starting that I was spreading myself thin. Yeah. And, you know, kind of just doing too much for people. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just for people to act like you ain't do nothing for them. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
The game is crazy. So, you know, I'm kind of just focused on myself and what I got going on, and I feel like I'm making the most incredible music I've ever made in my life.
Yeah.
Along it, with the other business stuff I got going on, and then when it makes sense, I'm gonna tap back into it. I'm already putting some stuff together now. You know what I'm saying? But when it come back around, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Off camera, man, you and I kind of discussed you diversifying your business portfolio, man. You got into like a restaurant business and maybe some other things, but I just wanted to speak to that because a lot of people, we get so involved in what we find our purpose in that we don't realize that like we got other things that we could be flourishing in.
Absolutely.
What made you decide to get into some other things, man? Like, cause that's really dope.
Yeah, man. So I have the restaurant Spice House Buckhead. We've been open for a year, like 2 weeks ago. It's been a year.
That's dope. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you, man. I invested in gold, and I also have I'm a part of a company called the Acquisition Group. And we just acquired 14 acres of land in Lithonia.
Come on.
Nice.
And we're going to build estate homes there. So we're going through the whole process now. We should be breaking ground hopefully in the next 60 days.
Nice. Wait, so how can I, like, is this something people can join? Like what, acquisition group?
Yeah.
Come on, man. 14 acres, let me get in, bro.
So it's definitely some investment opportunity. We'll definitely chop it up about that. I have an amazing business manager. Shout out to Horace. That's my guy. He's really just taught me so much.
Yeah.
And he's just put me in the game and changed my life,
Bruh, so like when your parents dropped off the stuff that you got from the Salvation Army, you know what I'm saying? Did you even have any iota that your life was going to turn into this?
No, I knew I had to make it work.
That's dope.
But I never saw this, especially like a restaurant. Like I'm like, what the? Like,
come on, man.
And it's so
you
crazy.
get flowers today, bro. We giving no flowers.
That's love, man. But
sure.
God knows the desires of your heart, man, and He'll give you things that you ain't even thought of. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
And so, I'm grateful for that. But to answer your question, man, it was like music has been great. It's been amazing. But you hear about investing, so I started really getting involved with that. And then it was also like, in music, placements is you don't know.
You don't know what's up.
What's happening. You know what I mean? You don't know what's about to happen, when they gonna drop, or they're pushing this back or whatever. Then lawyers is negotiating for 3 months, and you know what I'm saying? And then, BMI pays out quarterly or whatever. And I'm like, I wanna, I love the lump sum of money when publishing deals and all that stuff, and but I also love getting paid weekly too.
Come on, man. Yeah, exactly.
So, and that's what I want to like establish and have, and then pass down to my children as well. You know what I mean? So that's why I really got into it. I didn't want music just to be the end all be all. You know what I mean?
That's very smart, man. Like I always admire when I see, producers, young Black producers, man.
Absolutely.
Wise up and know that, like, the fun shit is like a few minutes.
It's a few minutes.
It's just a few minutes, and it's like at some point we all have to like buckle down and realize what God really gave us.
Absolutely.
Because like it's a lot of fun doing what we do, man. You can get sidetracked real quick. But you seem to be extremely focused, man, and I appreciate that. Like I've seen you in several settings, man. I've seen you producing and developing artists, and now I'm seeing you move into this other space as just a huge businessman. You're like a like we talked about earlier, a cultivator, like a person bringing people together. Keep going, man.
I appreciate it, man. I needed that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, keep grinding, man, and it's all gonna work out. Everything is gonna go exactly as planned, man.
Absolutely. Likewise.
And I just want to tell you, bro, you always a guest here, man. A welcome guest here at FreeGame Podcast.
This is fire. I've been seeing it. I was gonna hit y'all like, hold on.
Yeah, no, you know you on the listen, bro. We're not gonna let it slide. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of homies that we gonna reach out to.
Yeah.
God has been good to us on this as well, man.
Yeah, it's going crazy.
It's going crazy, man.
I love it. Even when I pulled up to the studio, I was telling her last year, when I put up,
we were gonna maybe do the thing here. Like I know y'all were looking for a venues. And, dude, I was just glad to see you then, bro.
This was inspiring for me. I'm like, this is crazy, man. The whole establishment, you know, is amazing, man. So,
well, listen, bro. Anytime you want to pull up, like, bro, you don't have to be all like, you don't have to have no reason.
For sure.
Call me and just be like, bro, I need a room for a couple hours. Whatever you need, you good
That's
over
love.
here, bro.
That's love, bro.
And congrats on all your endeavors, man.
Thank
you
you,
know
man.
what I'm saying? To watch you go from 5 years ago to now.
Right.
And it's still going crazy,
still going.
bro.
It's still
Come
going.
on.
Buffalo's finest, you know.
You already know.
It's still
That's
going.
something like, are you going to tap into like some of the other guys that's coming out of Buffalo now? Like, cause that's a thing, bro.
So I've been like I do it kind of on the low, you know what I'm saying? And like shout out to Griselda, West Side. That's my brother, man. That's the big homie.
Yeah.
I love what they doing. I kind of been, you know, I've been tapping in on the
That's
low.
dope.
You know
That's
what I'm
dope.
saying?
Yeah, I like to see when, you know, everybody from certain, you
Go
know,
back
regions
home and
just
everything,
link, even if it ain't for nothing but like a mixtape or something, just on
Absolutely.
some like some bush. Like, let's do this.
Just do something.
That's dope, man.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
Shout out to Buffalo too, man. We not to get too somber, but we mentioned a few weeks ago when the tragedy up there happened. We talked about it on the podcast, man. So shout out to Buffalo, man.
I was actually home during then.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Crazy.
My sister graduated. She got her doctorate.
That's what's up.
We were, we was downtown. Jefferson is like 2 exits away. You know what I mean? We didn't even know what was going on. We, just going home celebrating her, and then we hear the news when we get back home, and it's just crazy. Especially, just me being up there at the time, man. I was just like, it's wild. But, shout out to Buffalo, praying for everybody.
Prayers for them,
No doubt. So what's next, man? Like before we, wrap this up, what can we expect? Like you got something in the fire?
Yeah,
like what's going on?
I got some heat getting ready to come. I'm just been chilling. Just, like I said, this game is crazy, man. You got to wait on all these different things. But I've been working on some major projects. I won't say too much, but I got like I got a heater that I just can't wait. And I've been working with like a lot of the, the up and coming, R&B guys. I wouldn't say up and coming because they're already doing their thing. But
well, since you brought that up, I might as well introduce you to my guy Josh Waters.
Oh yeah.
Josh,
I think we met like maybe 2-3 years ago on Edgewood.
Come on, man. Listen, I gotta see if I can get y'all connected.
For sure.
Cause
bro, fire.
He fire, bro.
He had like a live band. He does like the
he got live band.
Yeah, that's why I saw him. Yeah,
it's been like 2-3 years of development, man. And so like I'm just like a low key, man. You know how it is. I'm producing a lot of his music, but like, man, I know what's up. Like, I would love to just get one of them moments, man.
Let's do it. That's nothing.
Y'all will go crazy. I know what's up.
Absolutely. Let's do it, man.
Keyz, Josh Waters, that'd be crazy.
But that's dope, man. Like bro, he's just so capable, man. So much, that's man. So like, I'm with the shit.
And shout out to you being a family man too, man. We watch your IG, man, and we really love families here, man. And we shout you out for like we see your kids and we see how much where your dedication is with that, man.
That's where my focus is. Like, I could literally care less about anything else. You know what I mean? Like,
as you should.
Family is straight. My girls are straight. My baby boy is growing and just being beautiful. Everybody is just amazing, man. That's what my focus is, man.
Absolutely.
Because all this won't even matter if fam ain't good. Like, you know what I mean?
Facts.
If I'm not there. And I really, took I ain't gonna say a back seat, but I really just took more control over my time. And like, I don't work on the weekends. Like, I'm with the family. Like,
come on, man.
Like, you know what I mean?
I ain't made it there yet, but that's dope. A weekend? Oh, that's what we got.
You know what I'm saying? Especially now with, I'll get pulled with, I'm doing music every day, and then the restaurant, and then all the other type of stuff I get pulled in, every way. I gotta make the time to,
Well, I study, man. I'm a big historian. I study music. I study our greats, man. And a lot of our greats, man, were great at the detriment to their family. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not judging. I'm just saying, like, sometimes I wonder, like, man, would we have got certain art if they were good family people?
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. So to see someone that's doing that balance well, man, because it's not fair to the family. So I give you props for that.
Greatness, it costs. Yeah. It does. I just believe that there is some sort of a balance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because even me, the weekend, it may seem a lot, but it's still not a lot. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But I at least try to like pick them up from school. And,
it's
still
a struggle regardless.
It's still a struggle regardless.
Yeah.
Still, try to do my.
That's dope.
Shout out to I can. This was great, man. Keyz.
Yeah,
man. We
got a
episode with you 5 years ago. This is even better, man. So
For sure.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, man. We're going to check back with you, man, in about 18 months.
See what's going on. For sure. It's gonna be hot. For sure.
Okay, bro. Well, thank you, man. And
I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all keep going, man. This was an honor. I couldn't wait to do it. I know we was trying to do it last week.
Yep.
But I was so excited to get up here and do it, man. I'm proud of y'all. Y'all keep going.
Thank you, sir.
Blessings to y'all, man. And
thank you, sir.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
FreeGame Podcast.
There it is.
Love.
Free game.